If you would describe what Rafael is, Rafael, I would say, is a storyteller. And I would say a storyteller comes through the lens of two angles, I would say. First is problem solving, and second is arts. Maybe you don't know about John Legend, but John Legend used to be a consultant before becoming an artist, a full-time musician. So some significant projects throughout my time in HEC, I can probably say about two key parts. And yeah, I would say that those two projects were quite significant in the nomination of myself, and perhaps there's a personal story that comes into mind when I'm nominated into that award.
Would you like to tell us about this?
Oh, certainly. It's very interesting because I would say that the most influential person that helped me get through this tough time in my life was actually a philosopher that has passed away. But at the end of the day, we should maybe ask ourselves, why not? So I think the idea of that question, why not, really highlights the importance of resilience, but also being able to be brave, being able to be daring. And it actually resonates to HEC's motto, right? Learning to dare. My name is Rafael. I come from Indonesia. Previous to the MBA, I've worked 3.5 years in consulting. And I suppose coming into this MBA, I had three purposes, which is basically number one, to serve my country, because I came in this MBA using a fund, a government scholarship coming from Indonesia. So at the end of the day, I will have to complete my MBA and go back to Indonesia to contribute to the country. And second is my interest in pursuing sustainability as an interest. I think sustainability is an emerging topic, especially in Indonesia itself. And number three is simply looking into experiential learning. My purpose in choosing an MBA first and foremost has to be in that sustainability direction. I think that France, especially Paris, having been the birthplace of the Sustainable Development Goals, is a good place to be in. And HEC Paris, being a top business school in France, I imagine being a forward-thinking institution in that space gives a good opportunity for me to get to know much more and bring the best practice of sustainability from Paris to Indonesia.
I know I gotta be strong, 'cause life goes on and on and on and on and on.
If you would describe what Rafael is, Rafael, I would say, is a storyteller. And I would say a storyteller comes through the lens of two angles, I would say. First is problem solving, and second is arts. I would say that as a consultant, you get to face a lot of challenging situations, dealing with a lot of business cases that you have to help your client solve, but also the angle of the arts.
Sing it with me if you know it. Mama just killed a man, put a gun against his head, pulled the trigger, now he's dead.
As you may have observed that I do partake in a lot of musical events in the MBA. There's the talent show and there's the MBA tournament in which I have sang in front of thousands of audiences, playing drums as well for the first time in my life, and I think it's very exciting, the nature of music being very chaotic and the nature of problem solving being very rigid. So I think combining those gives a whole different depth and breadth into my approach as a storyteller, as I call it. So some significant projects throughout my time in HEC, I can probably say about two key parts. First is a work related to my country. So it's basically an MBA project that I was involved in. An MBA project is basically a thesis that you do in the end of your MBA. And I was able to work on a topic about a state-owned enterprise in Indonesia. And second is my role in particular within a club in HEC, which is the Consulting Practice Club, which is basically a club that helps give access to MBA students to work with companies as clients and help them in a lot of situations that they need assistance on. And I would say that those works that I've done contributes to me receiving the HEC Foundation Award, which is an award basically addressed to students who have provided significant contribution in academia through their research and thesis, or even contribution within student life.
What inspires me the most about Rafael is no, it wasn't just about continuing to fight for your own dream. It was about investing in other people, making a difference with the faculty, staff, and your colleagues around you, infecting them with this positivity in a very, very negative circumstance. So Rafael, you are very deserving of this award. I'm thrilled that you get to represent our great school. So congratulations, and thank you for letting us play a part, a small part, in your incredible journey, which I'm confident is only just beginning. Congratulations.
And yeah, I would say that those two projects were quite significant in the nomination of myself, and perhaps there's a personal story that comes into mind when I'm nominated into that award.
Would you like to tell us about this?
Oh, certainly. So just 3 months into my MBA, I was diagnosed with cancer. And yeah, it was certainly hard to get by, but I would say that experience taught me a lot about resilience, especially I would say it's very relevant in this time of disruption in the world that we have, going through artificial intelligence, going through challenges in climate and sustainability. And I think the idea of resilience and that personal journey gave me some new perspective in not just my personal life, but even my professional life moving forward. First of all, the biggest challenge was certainly being able to get the healthcare that I need. So first and foremost, I have to thank the French healthcare for all the treatments I've received, even from being able to call SAMU, the ambulance service, to be able to pick me up from my bed when I was having problems, and being able to be tended to in the hospital. And throughout my treatment journey, it wouldn't have been possible without the French healthcare. Yeah, so I guess you can say that if you're sick, you might as well be sick in France. And second is especially the emotional and the physical support that I received. There's my family who came all the way from Indonesia to France, helping me out in my day-to-day here. Couldn't be here without them. And also throughout the HEC community, throughout the MBA, and even people outside of the MBA, especially from the health support, the infirmary that is available on campus. And also perhaps psychological support from the infirmary as well, who has given you access to that strength. So I wouldn't be there without all those being in place in this ecosystem.
Have you had any mentor or sources of support during your time at HEC who have been particularly influential?
Can it be someone who's not really alive right now? It's a person who has time. Okay. It's very interesting because I would say that the most influential person that helped me get through this tough time in my life was actually a philosopher that has passed away several years ago. And it's actually Albert Camus. So basically I'd say that throughout the cancer journey, I've gone through a little bit of existential crisis, perhaps faced with the uncertainty of getting better and what the future is going to look like years from now, even after cancer. And I think it very resonates with his philosophy of what we call absurdism. And what Albert Camus basically said is maybe you shouldn't worry too much on what the purpose of life is and just make the life that you have as meaningful as possible. And I think it helped me out a lot in being able to bear with the situation that I had, but also thinking towards my professional life moving forward in a world that's becoming more and more uncertain with the advancement of artificial intelligence and problems in climate and sustainability and even geopolitical tensions throughout the world. Perhaps as business students, as management professionals, and as leaders throughout the world, perhaps it becomes futile throughout these uncertain situations. But at the end of the day, we should maybe ask ourselves, why not? why not try and solve the problems of the world? Why shouldn't business try to partake and put themselves in the forefront of sustainability? Why shouldn't businesses try to solve complex problems through AI? And a lot of different solutions can come up through businesses. So I think the idea of that question, why not, really highlights the importance of resilience, but also being able to be brave, being able to be daring. And it actually resonates to HEC's motto, right? Learning to dare. Well, looking into the future, I am still excited to contribute to my country, especially in sustainability. I have received an offer to go into a consulting firm, a global consulting firm, to work in the Jakarta office and partake in their sustainability practice. So that's always exciting. But having gone through that personal experience, and especially living through HEC's motto, apprendre à oser, learning to dare, I think the world is my oyster. I feel like there's a lot of avenues that I can explore moving forward. Maybe even revisiting my interest in music. Maybe you don't know about John Legend, but John Legend used to be a consultant before becoming an artist, a full-time musician. So why not revisit that idea, or even exploring entrepreneurial experience moving forward? Because at the end of the day, the question of why not, right?